There we go. All
Should I
right.
turn my shit sideways or what?
No, I just got it like this to prop my phone up.
All right, cool. Hold up. Hold up.
Yeah.
Is my shit still on? Hold on. Let me see this. How the fuck do I turn that bitch around?
You gotta
There we
hit
go.
the little three. All right. Yeah. All right. So introduce yourself, my brother. Who are you? You know what
Hey,
you in, what you do.
my name is Kyle White. 35 years old from Yakima, Washington. Enrolled Nooksack Native American. I like to say Indian, but I represent my people and I represent myself in the fact that I just am who I am, bro. You either love me or hate me.
Hell yeah. Alrighty. So what all projects are you in? What all projects have you started? What do you play? What do you do?
Um, I can play a lot of different instruments. Like I can play them, but like in today's climate, I just fucking program drums and shit. It's all based off what I know how to play. But bass guitar, I make hip hop beats like trap, West Coast shit. I could do like old school samples, like on some East Coast hip hop, boom bap stuff. I really love. But uh, what you know me for, and what my favorite thing to do is to make metal music, and it's ranges from thrash to like some grindy stuff to some just straight up slammy caveman type stuff. Uh, but I've been playing since I was 13. I'm 35 years old now. What's that, like 20 something years? 22
Fuck yeah.
years.
Yeah.
My whole life my whole life is based around playing guitar. As far as like that's my therapy, bro. Like sometimes I just got to pick that up. Sometimes I might want to paint a picture, or like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes even just making a fucking music video for somebody or something gets me that creative like justification. But really the thing I'm looking for, the feeling that I love to chase, is like recording a riff and listening to something back that makes me feel like, oh, that shit's tough. You know what I mean?
That's okay. So that's how I feel about listening to a lot of you guys' music. I mean, I listen to all types of different shit, bro. Slam, hardcore, R&B, metal, hip hop, all that shit. Like,
Yeah.
but
I think real metalheads are just real music heads. And I think that like if you only listen strictly to metal because everything else is whatever, like you ain't really tapped in the way a metalhead should be. But that's just my opinion. But if you listen to everything and you respect everything, but you know what, you never scratches that itch type, the same type of way that metal does. That's what I love about a real metalhead.
exactly. And before we hop back on call for this interview, I was refreshing myself with some of your shit. You know, you're in Vampire Cunt. You know, why
Yeah,
don't you
yeah.
tell the people what all you do in Vampire Cunt, man?
Vampire Cunt was a project I started with Zachariah Jackson in 2016, and this happened because me and him, we both Native Americans from the same tribe, Blackfeet, and then we're Grovants. We have that bloodline tie, which is when the government found our people, or recognized our people as a sovereign union. There was only 300 and something members. So for me and him to come from that same thing is like a beautiful coincidence, because we're not blood related, but we are. But Zach was like really good at vocals, and he was like, "Hey, man," he posted on Facebook or something when he was like a teenager or maybe 20 or something. Like, "Hey, I don't want to do music anymore. I think I'm done." And I was like, "Hey, bro, nah, you're sick. Like, I think Zach is tight." I was like, "Let's just make a project. We
Oh
don't need
yeah.
nobody but me. We don't need nobody but me and you. Let me show you how we can get it done." At that time, I had only done rap albums. I never done a full metal album, but I've done recordings
Right.
of songs. So he's like, "Let's do slam." I was like, "What the?" At the time, I was like, "What the fuck is slam?" Like, I didn't never heard the term slam. I didn't know what the fuck that was. So he sent me some shit that I didn't really like, but I started to delve into it and do my own research, and I found my niche and the things that I like in the genre, or what I think it should be. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's kind of do this and do that. We dropped a little EP, which was the necrophilic afterbirth thing. We did that and it got traction right away. And I was like, I
That
never seen people,
motherfucker bang, boy.
yeah, I never seen people show love on some shit that, like, you know what I mean? That we just created. And it really was like, they're not long songs, but like I'd made those songs in a matter of like 10, 15, 20 minutes, kind of like fuck with it.
So what it is with I found in a lot of the projects you guys have fucking done is that y'all got a real fucking ear with the tuning, bro. The way y'all tune is different. That's why
So
people
so
like me and a lot of other people fuck with y'all shit, bro.
so here's what I'll tell you about that is like I strictly do all the music myself. I do all the drum programming, I do the bass and
That
guitars.
was my cat. I'm
But
sorry.
I love animals. I'm an animal person. But I tell you about the
Oh
music
yeah.
side of it. All the guitars and bass and drums I do all by myself. That's all me, just in my bedroom or in the living room or wherever
How do
my
you get that
computer's at.
fucking snare to sound like a damn gun? I've been asked, oh, dude. I've been like, it's been fucking me up, dude. Because I listen to Wigger Turtles, and my favorite one was it
Okay,
was
so let me tell
uh,
you.
it was Cunt
Go ahead.
Consumption. I don't remember exactly the whole name of the song, but it's the one you had a feature with. But that
So
motherfucker, the way that snare was is insane to me.
so that album is a rare album for Vampire Cunt because I program drums on everything. That one has live drumming.
Yeah,
He asked not to be named on the album because I don't know if he
fair
really
enough.
was like he really didn't want to be associated with Vampire Cunt. It's cool. I paid him his Skrilla to play the drums, but
Hell yeah.
I wrote the songs, programmed drums, and I said, hey, actually I took the drums out. He never heard the drums I programmed, but I used the program drums, recorded my guitars, cut the drums out, sent him the track with a click behind it. He sent me the drums back. The drums didn't have that sound. I engineered that snare to have that really big, like boom, like a shotgun in a big room kind of sound.
That motherfucker is so sick, dude. Holy
So
shit.
however bro tuned them drums. I don't know what he did to make the drum sound. They didn't sound like that though before I fucked with them. I put reverb on that snare in a certain way to make it sound that way, and I EQ'd
Yeah,
it to make it like kind of fit in there. But like those drums to me, that album is special to me because the way I made them drums sound. And that's actually the first
right.
album I've ever had live drums in my possession to edit and to engineer. So like I took it. I wish to me I only wish that I could have the kick drums be a little bit fatter, but I didn't have the know how to make everything fit the way I wanted to. But I was actually really happy with the way it sounds. And when I re-listen to it and I go back and listen to it, I'm actually astonished at how good it actually sounds.
Yeah. So, okay. How did you get the name for Vampire Cunt? Does it have anything to do with that old ass shock site?
Here's the thing about that too, and this is crazy because I still kind of low key hate the name Vampire Cunt, but I think it's special because it's got that like shock value, like the site, but it has that thing like Vampire Cunt. What the fuck is that? I'm gonna listen to it,
Right.
for but for me as a kid, I was obsessed with vampires, bro. Like every Halloween, I was a vampire for like up until I was like 10, 11, 12 or whatever. Until I stopped dressing up, I was a vampire every year. I was Dracula every year.
Fuck
I
yeah,
fuck
dude.
all my favorite movies. We got 30 Days a Night, Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know what I mean?
You
All
fuck
that
with
shit's my favorite.
Nosferatu, dude?
I saw the new one on Christmas. I mean,
Oh
it
no,
ain't
not
my.
that new one. Fuck the new shit. I'm talking
No,
about the
I
old
watched
black and white silent bitch.
I watched the 1979 one. I don't really watch the old school one because sometimes like I do appreciate it and like to go into those, but I also like to keep things put away so when I'm older in life, I could get that feeling of discovering something new for the first time. And that's one of those
Right.
things that I'm afraid to watch because I don't want it to either not live up to my expectations, but if it does, I want to be like, oh man, I'm 40 years old and I just found this new thing.
Right, right,
Because
right.
we've heard so many cool bands and so many cool movies that like we're over stimulated with all the cool shit we find that it doesn't really mean anything to us. So I try to like I still haven't listened to the new Metallica album. I still haven't listened to a lot of shit because I'm saving it for like 4 or 5 years down the road.
I don't. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't listen to any of the like mainstream bands' newer shit because of the way that they mix their shit, bro. The
They produce it,
production
yeah,
is
it's
terrible.
overproduced. It's
Exactly.
overproduced. It sounds too
Yeah.
polished.
Yeah, like Corn. Corn used to. Okay, so I'll tell you like my favorite band and what got me into a lot of this shit. So I heard I Hate God when I was real young, when I was in about
That's because you
maybe
from that's because you
fifth,
Louisiana, my boy.
yeah, fifth, sixth grade, boy. And let me tell you,
You on that sludgy ass fucking. I feel
it's
it. Go
not
ahead.
even that. I don't even really like a lot of sludge. It's just the way that Mike Williams writes, the way that Jimmy Bauer plays that fucking guitar. Like,
So
God, bro.
on tours and shit, I always see I Hate God with Ringworm.
Oh yeah, I've never actually checked Ringworm out. I might
So
need
this
to.
so the same way you don't listen to Ringworm, the same way I kind of passed upon I Hate God, because Ringworm is
Yeah.
my shit, dude.
Yeah.
Ringworm is actually a lot of my inspiration for like trying to find like the sound and tones and shit comes from that like gutter fucking just fucking hardcore tough like when dude from Ringworm fucking does his vocals, it sounds like he's got a fucking bag of nails stuck in his throat, dude. That's type
Jesus.
of shit. That's type of shit. When you hear that, you're like, why the fuck does this fucker sound so hard? That kind of stuff is what I like about music. And so, like you said, you don't like the over polished new shit. I get that, but you could find the beauty in things being polished enough to where they keep it. If they don't sound like that live, if they sound like that live, then I like it. But if they sound shitty live and perfect on recording, fuck out of here.
Yeah, cause like, okay, here's another thing. Like, I expect to see like you live to have like a real tight performance, but in the studio you have an opportunity to let loose a little bit with it and come up with creative ideas and creative ways to
Okay,
write your music.
okay. So here's where I come from though, and this is how I stand by this in all my music, and it kind of comes from my love. We were talking about this earlier off camera. Kurt Cobain, my
Yeah,
love for music and the way I look at recording and stuff is like if you can't reenact this sound exactly live as you do on the recording, then it's false.
exactly,
I mean, unless you don't plan on like doing that shit live and you just are doing it for the love of recording and making like overlayered guitars and doing shit that makes you feel good. That's tight too. I like that. Chili Peppers, you're listening to Stadium Arcadium, you got 8 different guitars all harmonized and like, damn, this is fucking sick. And when they do it live, it's close, but it ain't quite that. But I respect it because I love John Frusciante. But for me, and it comes to metal, if you fucking have this sound live and you're doing like vocals right now, I see a lot of death metal vocalists doing highs and lows at the same time and they layer that
right,
shit up. When you perform that live, you're either doing one or the other. You ain't sounding like that on the
exactly. You
recording.
can't do two at the same fucking time.
Yeah, if you're doing gutturals and a high at the same time, it sounds cool. And or even like a mid, kind of like a mid and a deep guttural, it makes you sound like,
Right,
man, where's it? How does this person get this tone? Most people don't realize that it's overdubs and it's 2 different vocals tracks giving that sound that actually is unrealistic. I want it to be like, bro, if you can't do that live, we ain't put that on the album, dog.
exactly. Yeah, and I'm working on my own shit. And I've been sick here lately. I do vocals, man. And
I I started to.
it's to the point where I've been like 2, 3 months holding on the same like instrumental and just like, no, it's not perfect yet. Like I want it to
But
be
you know what? You know what
exactly
though?
how I want it to be.
And that's the problem with my new album is that like I'm thinking about trying to perfect it because I'm looking at my old shit and I'm like I want to outdo it, but I can't outdo it in my mind. But like at the same time, I truly believe in like if this is what you got, just put it out, bro. Don't overthink about it because you got to get this out and get on to the next one. Because
Right.
if it doesn't speak to you and it doesn't happen in that moment, then it's probably not the song for you. You feel me?
That's a good
So
point. That's a good way to look at it.
if that magic isn't happening, if it ain't magic in a bottle, it ain't the one. And if you focus too much on it, look at all the time you wasted because you couldn't find that next song that might have been the one where it just fit. I've rapped on songs where I'm like, man, I don't like my voice on this, but then I just randomly spit on some random shit and I'm like, yo, I sound sick on this. What if I try to perfect that other song for a month and 2 months and I just focus on it and then it still sucks?
Right.
I mean, I'm wasting my opportunities to keep pushing. It's either in that moment, you either know if it clicks or it don't. One of
I've
the best
also
selling.
found too with hip hop that a lot of newer artists try to force themselves on beats that they can't exactly like ride
Well,
on
but
too.
the problem with all music and especially in hip hop and rap and trap and all that stuff right now is that everyone's fighting to sound the same.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's biting each
So
other, dude.
everyone's biting everybody. It's like, okay, this person's hot. I could do that too. Let me do that so everyone knows I'm hot too. No, you know what's really hot? Making your own sound.
Exactly.
And also, and I hate to keep bringing this up, yeah, I haven't brought it up to you, but like I feel like the music that I did on Wigonometry birthed a whole new wave that's going on right now. That's actually like putting other bands on.
I'll tell you it was you and Cemetery Rapist. Cause Cemetery Rapist
Cemetery
been
Rapist
doing
was
this
doing.
shit for a while too.
He was putting like some Lil Jon like samples and trap shit, and he'd come into it. But you know what he didn't do, in my opinion, the way that I did, he didn't intertwine. the riffage with the music tempo to make it become one music piece.
Yeah, too, because if I'm not mistaken, like, yeah, they had the people sampling rap beats and shit, but, like, you were one of the first times I heard, like, a fucking rap beat lead into a riff
Yeah,
and
and it
layer
stayed
over the riff.
and it stayed in the background. And then when they do
Right.
that, you heard that on the beat. I took the lead guitar and I reenacted that with the lead guitar over it. I did some shit that to me was regular because I make rap beats. I was like, I could do that. I could reenact that on the guitar, but I only did it once because I didn't want it to become my whole. I didn't want it to become like a whole cliche, or not cliche, but like the what's the word I'm looking for here? I didn't want it to be my whole thing, like sampling rap beats into the slam. I was
Right.
like,
Right.
I could do it, and it'll be hot for this one song, and it's gonna play its part for this one song, and then I'm on to the next. So like, but I think "Bitches on My Dick" birthed a whole new like genre of what people call wigger slam too, and I got a lot to say about wigger slam.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna ask you too. Let's get into that, dude. How with you helping popularize it, I'm gonna say that too. If anybody watching this shit don't fucking know, this boy and Zachariah helped popularize this shit. Not just like, you know what I'm saying, arsony and infectious joking and all of them, but like y'all were some of the first to really do that.
And shout out to Infectious Joking, because when I first seen that shit drop and the Slam Shotties dropped, I was like, hey,
Oh, that bitch was so nasty
no,
too,
but listen
dude.
though, listen though. I seen it. I didn't know nothing about it. I wasn't hip. I hadn't been listening to Slam for like months and months, maybe a year. I seen that pop up and I was like, hey, they on my shit right now. I was like, are they trying to bite my shit? And I went and listened to it, and I was like, yeah, they are kind of like. I feel like that if they didn't hear Vampire Cunt, would they have came up with this? Is what I thought. So then I hit him up and like, bro's like, yeah, I'm a big fan, dude. I love you guys.
I
And then that
saw
made
his
me.
ass fucking post you, hello, Vampire Cunt. I saw that shit.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
that
that
was the
was
other
funny.
day. So listen, like that. I seen that, and I was hoping that he wouldn't be like, nah, I don't know who you are, and like try to hate. He was like, nah, dude, I love Vampire Cunt. That's the shit. Because to me, I think that like when you Google Wigger Slam, you get like an old blog with like Waking the Cadaver and shit like that, and that's at the time when they were suburban white kids and they wore their fucking hats to the side and they dressed
Right,
kind of
right, right.
a little bit like hip hop ish. They weren't typically metalheads, you know, with the fucking vest and the fucking
Right, right, right.
long hair. They look kind of like they was into rap, right? But people are like, this is Wigger Slam. Guess what they said? Nah, we ain't. Don't call us Wigger Slam, bro. That's kind of offensive. We don't want to be lumped into this genre called Wiggers, right?
And it's the same motherfuckers that wrote Chase Through the Woods by a Rapist.
Yeah, yeah, but they were probably the first band to be called Wigger Slam, right? But I understand
Mm.
it. Why would you be a white guy that want to be lumped in with this
And
term Wigger Slam? It's actually
it's
kind of
fucking
rude and disrespect. Nah,
stupid.
bro,
Like, yeah.
we're musicians. We're real musicians.
Right,
We're not
right.
wig. Yeah, I know, but like, it's cool now because a Vampire Cunt came through, and the reason this happened is because me and Zach dropped a few songs, and some kid messaged me. He's like, kind of hating a little bit. I won't say his name, but he was like, "Oh, you guys are wiggers. You're making Wigger Slam." And I'm half white, but when you look at me, you wouldn't think I'm some white guy or Zach. You think we're Mexicans or who the fuck
When I
knows what,
seen the
but we're not
old
typically looked at as white people. So I was like, hey, that's kind of fun.
when I seen the old ass music
Hold on, it's a poor
videos of
connection. My
you,
bad.
oh, it's all good. My bad. When I seen the old music videos of
Oh,
you
you're
for
good. You're
like
good.
Granny Got Back and fucking By the Pussy, dude, you like nah, you didn't fucking look white. Like so,
Yeah, that's what I'm
but
saying. So society don't look at us as that. So I even though I am white, half white, my mom's white. I love, my family. I love my mom, but society don't look at me as that. So I think it's funny. I was like, oh, wigger, I'm a wigger to you. Because if we were at work, you would call me a Mexican, or you'd probably call me a
right,
Middle
yeah.
Eastern, or I've been all kinds of different shit. But you would never look at me and be like, oh, that's a white guy. So I was like, all right. But when it comes to music, I'm making Wigger Sam because you want to hate. So I was like, guess what? New album's called Teenage Simon Wigger Turtles because I love the turtles. I decided something witty real quick to use the word wigger with.
So
Boom,
that's
dropped
how
it.
you came up with the name for the record.
Yeah, because I love
Wow.
Ninja Turtles, and I didn't want to also didn't want to be cliche and do like a dead chick chopped up on a fucking hanging from fucking chains and like what I mean. I didn't want to do all
Everybody
that
does that
typical.
shit.
Everybody does it. I didn't want to do that, so I'm like I'm gonna make my shit a little different. Even if I get a fucking cease and desist about the turtles, fuck it, we gonna rock with it until we get there.
And
So
I
I
have
dropped
a fucking poster on my wall. It's still one of the
and
fucking
and
hardest album
tell me
arts.
that ain't the hardest album artwork, dude. That shit, April
Hardest
O'Neil
shit,
all
dude.
chopped up. Shout out to Montala. Shout out to Montala, bro. He does all the best album covers. But
Fuck
I
yeah,
paid
I'll
him money
find
for
this
that.
shit and tag him.
He was like I don't think he's anywhere to be seen online now, but he
Oh,
was like,
dude.
I'm tired of doing all the typical shit. He's like, I like this concept, and he did it in like a day, bro. Usually he takes a couple weeks. He did that shit in a day because he was pumped about the concept.
Fuck
Paid
yeah,
him
dude.
$300. Paid him $300 for that artwork. Then I was like, what else can I do with the wigger stuff? Like with trigonometry, wigonometry. Boom, here we go. Then I started thinking about wigonometry classroom, and I was like, I don't want to do like a school shooting. Actually, you know what? To be honest, I wasn't thinking school shooting. All I told Montla was, hey, the album's gonna be called Wigonometry. I want this to be in a classroom with the like a kid that people would call a wigger, and just he just did some brutal shit, murdered everybody somehow. He sent me the dude the artwork with the gun and all that shit. He's throwing up the sign, and I was like, hey, this is hard. And he captured everything. He's not even from America, but it felt like America. Everything in there. And then the color of the logo, the Vampire Cunt logo, it's my high school colors. I threw that in there as a little gem for myself to know, maybe
Fuck
people
yeah,
that went to school
dude.
with me. But I
So,
did that.
I don't know, continue. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, I tried to own the term wigger slam and say, hey, guess what? We're wig slam. That's what I called it. I'm the first person to say wig slam, bro. We're wig slam. We make
Hell
wig
yeah.
slam, bro. So I was like, we owned it on Slam Worldwide, and people were in the comments because they always look at the genre for some reason. Oh, wig slam, what the fuck is this? But then you start seeing dudes like shout out to the homie Infinectomy. That kid always was, you know, supporting us. He started putting some wig slam shit out. Then you got copper-cephalic mutation or whatever the fuck they are called. They're doing wigger slam. You start seeing these bands repping the term wigger slam, and I'm like, hey, these fools are, you know, kind of onto the shit. And then now it's a cool thing. Like someone could come up right now with a band online right now and they're wig slam, and it's not looked at as like a hater thing. It's not like, oh, fucking wigger slam, that's gay. It's like, oh, this is you listen to wig slam, listen to infectious joking, listen to this, listen to that. Everyone's onto it now. It's like a whole new subgenre that already existed but wasn't popularized until we made it. Like we owned it, I think.
Right, you
I
got bands now like out like ghetto rectomy and shit like that that like attributing and paying respects to that subgenre and
and you
also
know what,
having
but
influences.
and you know what though? Yeah. The only one that's ever came to me and gave me props though was Infectious Joking. And shout out to my boy. And I'll give you a little spoiler. The only feature that I have on the new Slamerica album is Infectious Joking is gonna be on there. I'm working on a song for my boy right now.
Oh, we
Ain't
eating
no
good.
there ain't no features on there except for him, and it's gonna be the most wigger slam. That whatever the toughest song I feel like on the album is going to my boy because I'm gonna help him
Fuck
put him
yeah,
on
dude.
the way he put this genre on, and I see him getting millions of streams, bro. That shit I never accomplished, and my boy's doing that, and I'm fucking proud. And when I look at him and he tells me, hey, bro, the only reason we started doing shit was because like Vampire Cunt, and then the last video they dropped, bro's rocking the Vampire Cunt hat, and I just barely noticed
Yeah,
that a
I
couple
saw
weeks ago.
that. I pointed that out to my boy.
I barely noticed that, and I was like, "Oh my!" You notice they did green screen. You know what that's inspiration from, in my opinion,
Well,
by the pussy video. I had the green screen, and the whole video feels like
oh
a
yeah,
Vampire Cunt
yeah,
video.
dude. I seen that bitch. I immediately seen the fucking logo, and I was like, "Wait a minute, rewind that back," because I was at my fucking homeboy's house, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Dude, look."
But don't it feel like the old Vampire by the pussy video a
It
little bit?
really does, dude. It has that same fucking like found footage type vibe to it.
Yeah, and that's why I like. That's why I love that he did that. I gave him props in the DM about it. But you know what? To me, I did all that shit because I used what I had to make the most out of what I got. But all that shit was inspiration for me from the shit I grew up on. And I'm 35 years old, so I'm older. So like I grew up watching like Beastie Boys. The real inspiration for that camera like style was Beastie Boys. So what you want? Go back and watch that and tell me that ain't the same shit.
Yeah, I think
When you got
okay, no,
time.
I haven't seen it. I
No,
like
yeah, go back.
I really like License to Ill. That was one of my favorite fucking records growing up,
No,
dude.
yeah, but go back to the music video and watch So What You Want when after this is over and check that video out. And I'm gonna tell you that's the whole inspiration for the Buy the Pussy video. And I threw the
Fuck yeah,
green
dude.
screen shit in there for like some Beavis and Butthead type shit, which is what I grew up on. All that shit is just
Um,
in my mind of shit that I've seen growing up that I thought was cool that I could achieve with my tools that I had, you know?
so, all right. So, what bands and shit like inspired you to help you write and all of that? Like, what do you listen to during your writing processes?
All right, so I can't wait to talk about this too because I'm not big into the slam music as a fan. I'm a slam fan. Like if I hear a slam, I'm like that shit's tough. But I don't like everything that every band does in slam music. But the first album, I can break it down into pieces because I have different bands for different albums. So the first album, Necrophilic Afterbirth, I strictly was listening to Operation Cunt Destroyer, who
Oh boy.
who honestly, I had the name before I came up. I didn't even answer the question earlier. Vampire Cunt was also anal cunt was in my mind. I was like, oh, this type of music has the word cunt in it sometimes. So I was like, Vampire Cunt, do that in. Zach was like, that has to be the band name. I was like, oh, it's kind of gay, but whatever. But we kept it. People love it. It's a mix between anal cunt and I just thought about what do I replace anal with? Vampires is what I liked as a kid. Vampire Cunt. It turns out there was a shock side about it. Never watched it as a kid or fuck, you know what I mean? Had nothing to do
Yeah,
with my
I
mind.
didn't watch it either. I don't like all
So
that gore
yeah,
bullshit.
yeah. So Necrophilic Afterbirth. The inspirations on that. I listened to Bong Rips for Jesus.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Operation Cunt Destroyer. Analepsy a lot. I listen to a lot of that shit. Clawhammer. I was fucking with that shit. Whatever is new on Summer World, I was kind of peeping it. And I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of, but realistically, my riffs and stuff came from like inspiration from like Trivium and like All That Remains and like that kind of guitar playing is what I was into.
Fuck
I was
yeah.
kind of like dumbing my riffing down a little bit to try to match the style of just being caveman. But at the time, I was like so new to it. I wasn't really. It wasn't until TSWT, the Wigger Turtles album, that I was like into parasitic ejaculation and myocardial infarction and like cerebral incubation. But realistically, like a lot of the guitar stuff you hear that you don't hear in any other things is inspired by Limp Bizkit, the whammy pedal, and the way that Pantera used it on their last album.
Right. Oh, dude. Speaking of that, dude. I guess I'll tell you some of my like the shit that I like at least as a fan. That really like I really fuck with your shit. Like I fuck with Vampire Cunt heavy. I've been telling people since you fucking told me. Okay, so hear me out. All right, so I got my shit banned a couple of times because I'm a fuckhead on Instagram and I be arguing with
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah. I feel it.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to another room. My cat's being a dick.
Probably hungry.
Yeah, nah. Her little ass be liking to get inside the fucking couch and claw
Oh
around in that
yeah,
motherfucker.
cats are gluttonous. Dogs too. They want to eat 24/7 and they want attention, but really it's because they want you to feed them.
Right. Okay. So shit that at least as a fan that I like shit like devourment, party cannon, cerebral incubation, and then your shit. I just
And you
like
know
the
what?
really nasty type tune slam.
And
I
you know
don't
what?
really like the shitty sounding slam,
No,
I
yeah,
guess.
you want it to kind of have some production value, is what you're saying.
Right.
I'm glad that you lumped me into that because I really tried to like have a middle ground between shitty, like a live recording and still studio quality. But I'm also not happy with the guitar tones that I put out. But I know it sounds different than everything else in its own way, so that's what makes it special to me. Like even though I was trying to recreate something, it didn't match up to that, but it's in its own tiny little lane that it's unlike any other slam band in its own way, you know?
Oh yeah, like I can it's obvious you weren't just influenced by metal too, and that's what I appreciate as well. Because me, like, I'm not just a strictly a metal dude. Like, I fucking love like No Doubt, dude. That's what I was raised on. Like No
Oh,
Doubt and
I took
fucking
my little brother's first concert ever that he's ever been to was a No Doubt show because I took him to that, bro.
dude, Gwen Stefani, dude, she got some fucking vocals on her, bro. I don't
Hey,
know what
let
the
me tell
fuck
you this though.
happened, man.
Let me tell you this though. You know the intro Machete on Bust Down to Wigonometry?
Yeah.
That rap song that starts out the whole album?
Yeah, you gang
That
related. Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's my friend. That's my real life friend, and he's a rapper from Seattle. We started out making music together as rap, and I asked him, "Hey, bro," because he was in prison for a couple years and he just got out, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna use your song on the intro to my album. I hope you don't care." He's like, "No, it's cool. It's all love." I
Fuck
love
yeah,
that
dude.
song. I slowed it down. I fucking put that shit out. And I see a lot of comments all the time. Hey, what's the intro song? I've been looking for it for a grip, blah, blah, blah. But that's because that's my homie. My influence for the rap shit to do all that is not because I'm trying to start I'm not trying to bite anyone's steez. That's because that's my influence bleeding into my death metal shit. You know, I made it, I let myself be myself in my music. So I put my homie into the intro of my album because I want people to hear him on my shit that might be, that people might not have ever heard or ever be interested in. They might be like, hey, who's that? And I'm putting on my homie that I make music with, that I love his music.
Fuck yeah, and that's what. Okay, so what I'm gonna do when I drop my own little shit, I'm gonna plug me for a minute. Whenever the fuck I get this shit out, I decided on the name Louisiana Bullride,
Bull
cause
Rat?
I looked up on Urban Dictionary the craziest shit you could possibly like, the craziest, nastiest, fucked off sex phrase, and I came across Louisiana Bullride.
What is
And
it? What is
basically,
that?
what it is when you bang a fat chick, she has a fucking heart attack and starts convulsing, and it's like a bull.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's it, dude. It shows love
That's
to
up
the
there.
fucking
That's up
homies
there.
back home.
That's up there. The other one I heard was Angry Dragon.
Oh God,
You know what that is?
I might have an idea, but go on and explain it.
It's when they're topping you up, and right before you're about to fucking hit them with it, you fucking jam their head on there, and he comes out their nose, and they look like an angry dragon.
Dude, Jesus Christ.
It's fucked up. That was on that's like early Urban Dictionary shit.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Rusty trombone type shit.
Hey, speaking of that, I'm gonna ask you some crazy ass questions because
Hit
I didn't
me.
want to just be all professional and shit for this
Yeah,
interview. You know.
hit me, bro. I want your shit to go off. I want your shit to be like.
So, dog, you know, fucking ants got cocks.
I didn't know that, but I'd assume that I would hope they do.
No, I didn't know that ants like fucking reproduce like that. I was looking it up because I changed tires on 18 wheelers and tractors and shit.
You saw two ants fucking.
And I try to ask everybody that I work with what's the craziest shit, like, well, the craziest shit I can think of. So I figured out that fleas have vaginas and ants have dicks.
But fleas don't got
And
dicks though.
I'm fucking walking over to one of my
Hey, hold
homeboys
up
in
though,
his
hold up though,
truck.
hold up though, hold up though. Do fleas have dicks and do ants have vaginas? They must.
I mean, I would assume they reproduce sexually,
Okay.
apparently.
So they bone. That's all we're getting at. All right, for
Yeah,
sure. Keep going.
maybe. I don't know how in the hell that would work.
A
But,
dick goes. A dick goes into the vagina.
uh yeah, yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm just fucking with you.
That'd be about, you know. So I'm fucking walking over to my coworker. I'm like, "Hey, dog, you know fleas got pussies?" And this motherfucker hurries up and cranks that fucking window up, bruh. I fucking go over there, beat on the window. Hey, hey, hey. He like, fuck you, dude. I don't wanna. I'm not talking to you after that shit, dude.
Ooh, I
But
feel you.
yeah, dude. I'm sure you have like a side hobby or something. You know what I'm saying, or like a job, a main job. What do you do for work?
I've done a lot of things, bro. One thing that my girl constantly tells me is like, she brings a place up. I'm like, oh, I used to work there. I worked there. I worked everywhere, bro. I've done everything.
Fuck yeah.
Um, the real truth is, I hate every fucking job I work. I don't like doing jobs, bro. Like, I'll do it because I gotta get money, but and not never do I have a job. The only job I've ever like enjoyed going to was bartending at a bar, but that lifestyle is something that you can't just like be around all the time, bro. Because then you are who you hang out with, and you only as strong as your weakest link. You know what I mean? That type shit. So when you're going to the bar all the time, you're seeing all these people that are just at the bar every day. Like, you're there all the time, and those are people you're around. That's what you're gonna become. But that job was
Okay.
something that I was like passionate about. Like, it was fun to be there. It's fun to be a people person and talk to everyone and like drink and fucking play pool. I love playing pool since I was 10. Like, all these things were like, it's really just the devil's work, bro. It's the dark arts just pulling you in is all that is. But I love that job. But I've done like sheet metal, like fabrication. I worked like food a lot of years. You know, I've even gone as far as doing dishes at the fucking truck stop. Customer service is usually what I'm known for because I'm a people person. I could talk about anything. I could bullshit my way through any conversation. So if I'm at a place where I got a customer service, I'm a good customer service person, bro. I'll be like, "How you doing?" You know, I'll make you feel good when you leave here and want to come back. That's what I'm
Right,
good at.
right.
But right now, I just work at a grocery store. Right now, I got a regular full time job just to pay the bills. While and the thing about music too is like I don't want to make music feel like a job. Like music comes to me when I feel like I need to make it, and if it feels like I'm forcing myself to try to make riffs happen and beats happen, then it's not the time for that. So music might take me a year or two to put out, or it might take me 5 minutes.
Exactly. You're
But
right.
everything I'm doing is like I could die tomorrow, I could die a week from now, I could die 100 years, I could die 30 years from now. There ain't no telling, but I'm gonna do what I got to do to put food on my plate and keep a roof over my head. But my real love is just following my passions.
Hell yeah, dude. And I mean, I've worked retail, fast food. I've worked in grocery stores. I worked in a fucking sex store, dude.
Yeah,
Uh,
I will say also, aside from bartending, my favorite job ever is working with pizza. I would love to make pizzas all day. I'll do that shit with a smile on my face. I love pizza.
Hell yeah, dude. I'd probably enjoy working in like a taco shop or something because I make tacos every single day of the week. Like,
Yeah, realistically, if I could play music for a living, that'd be dope. But if I couldn't, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to have my own restaurant and make food that I like to make, and just have a place that people feel like like sometimes you need food like to make you feel good.
right,
Sometimes
man.
if you got dumped by a girlfriend, you might go get a hamburger and some fries, and that shit might make you feel like, man, this is what life's about, not about these bitches, or you know what I mean, like, or you know what I mean. Sometimes the most traumatic shit happens, and food has been there to help me. I love food, and I'd love to have a place where people could come and not feel like I don't know, just a place where people can come and get food and feel good about themselves when they leave. Almost like when you get a haircut, you get a nice haircut, you leave feeling like you got an extra pep in your step. I would like to have a restaurant where you leave with a pep in your step.
Hell yeah, man. Sound good. Hell yeah. Uh, what's your favorite movie, brother?
Favorite movie? I got a lot of different favorite movies, but off the top, gangster movies. I like Goodfellas, Menace to Society, Juice, Boys in the Hood, uh, A Bronx Tale, shit like that. But I also
Fuck
love
yeah.
comedies. Super Bad, Pineapple Express, all this the Seth Rogen and all that type shit was funny as hell. I like Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2, Austin Power movies. Um, Classic always the first two Ninja Turtle movies.
So me and you pretty much damn near got the same taste in movies. That's pretty
I
much
feel
all the
like a
shit
lot.
that I like.
I feel like a lot of us be on that same shit, but I
Mhm.
really fuck with someone that fucks with the gangster movies. If you like Juice, if you could give me
Dude, I
some quote,
love hood
if you
movies
could
in
give me,
general.
if I meet a person and they could give me quotes from Juice, Boys in the Hood, or Goodfellas or something, then you're my homie for real.
Oh no, I couldn't do that, dude. I smoke too much fucking
Uh,
weed.
if I tell you some shit though, if I was like, hey, uh, for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a gangster. Like if you know where that comes from, then I'm like, that's my homie right there. That's
I
Goodfellas
really
shit.
my favorite hood movie was Belly, dude. Fucking
Oh, you know
DMX
what?
and
You know what? I feel stupid. I didn't say Belly because DMX in that movie. A little fun fact: he dropped that movie before he dropped his album, or he acted in the movie and it came out before his album came out. And that
damn.
same year, he dropped two albums that both went platinum, and he's one of the only people to ever do that. But DMX is one of the most realist. I put DMX over Biggie and Pac in rap. He's better than them. But the movie Belly, hardest movie ever, bro.
Facts, dude. It's hard as fuck.
You know, DMX used to rob people with his pit bull. He didn't even have a gun on him. He used to make people fucking run their pockets with his dog in Yonkers, New York, in the hood.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Most people got a gun. He had a pit bull, bro.
I heard back in the day of somebody getting robbed with a fucking alligator, dog.
Hey, you know what? A fun random story that you would never hear unless you brought that up. I was about 16, 17. I think I was 17. I worked at Dairy Queen, bro. This girl I worked with, went to school with her since middle school or some shit, had a new little boyfriend, and she's like, check out this video, and she shows me this video, tell me her boyfriend has an alligator. I'm like, you're fucking lying. We ain't in the terrain for alligators. There's this little man-made little pond, and they throw this cat on this little dock, and this alligator comes out. Boom, alligator grabs a cat, and I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, yeah, it's my boyfriend's house. I'm like,
What the
nah,
fuck?
that's fucked up. I'm like, don't be feeding no cats. She's like, they're stray cats. I'm like, that's fucked up. But
That's
I ended up,
fine.
no, yeah, but I'm like, well, let's go over there. So I go over there. This little dude named Sergic, little tough ass, fucking hard headed Mexican fool. He's a G. He's tough, but he had a fucking rattlesnake in his bedroom that he caught and kept it in a fucking tank. Bro, it's crazy. In the wintertime, he used to put this alligator in his bathtub, bro. Just kept it in there and he'd feed it. He's wild, bro. But we went in there and he's like, here, guys, take a flashlight. It's only like 4 foot, 5 foot alligator. He gave us all a flashlight, and we're over here on the side of the pond like idiots, fucking putting the flashlight in there until we see the gator. One of us sees the tail, and he's like, all right. And he pulls his gator out. Boom, pulls it out. You hear this gator fucking hissing, and he kind of holds it, and he's got it. It's kind of big. Me not thinking like I'm dumb. I'm like, there's an alligator right here. He's like, one of y'all want to hold it? And I'm not trying to be a pussy. I'm like, yeah, I got it. Motherfucker gives me the alligator, bro. He's like, hold his mouth shut and then hold him right here. This motherfucker's all muscle, dog, strong as hell. I'm holding his mouth down, but like I could feel him moving around, and I started feeling like, dang. Luckily, he didn't start twisting and rolling around because I might have dropped his ass. But this gator was in Washington State where it should not have been, in a man-made pond. And in the wintertime, bro put him in a tub and let him stay in the house to stay warm. But luckily, the fair came around, and there was these gator people that had like a zoo type shit that came with the fair, and he donated that alligator to them. But this gator, I held with my hands, and I could have got my fucking fingers ripped off for all I know.
Holy shit, dude.
Over here in Louisiana, that might not be weird, but over here, that shit ain't right.
Dude, they got so much fuck shit in Louisiana, dog. Like, they had a fucking, apparently they're labeling it as terrorism, but I'm one of the like government conspiracy motherfuckers. So it just real depends.
Hey,
Like, I don't
we can
know.
never trust the government. The government's against all of us. We can't trust the
I'm
government. Fuck
saying
that.
every politician, all the government, dude, everybody, dude. But yeah,
Fuck all that shit.
some dude just flies down Bourbon Street, kills 10 people, fucking injured a bunch more.
Hey, Blaine. Some dude just flies down Bourbon Street, kills 10 people. That's how you said that shit right now, like it was nothing. Keep going. Just kills 10 people.
Yeah, bro, that's what happened. Exactly how it happened.
I love the way you talk. That's hard.
Man, yeah, bro, and they saying something
You
about a
know
terrorist attack.
one thing I love about this metal music, bro. It links people like us that otherwise wouldn't be talking to each other. You from Louisiana, I'm from Yakima, Washington. We two different types of folks, and we come together and we can talk and have a good time because we're the same. We're all the same, but we're different.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, we may not have had the same growing up or the same fucking, you know what I'm
But
saying,
we did
memories,
know
but like,
we
yeah,
didn't, but we did. We all the same.
yeah,
Our experiences make us who we are. But okay, why else would we be talking if it wasn't for this metal?
exactly, bro, exactly. One of my one of my favorite band at least is I Hate God, dude. And I don't know, man, like with the metal shit and the hardcore shit, dude, like it gives me a feeling like no other type of music. Like I feel emotional sometimes. Like,
No,
damn, dude.
it really is the only music that ever put like chills down my spine and hairs raised on the back of my neck. I'm gonna tell you this because whether you ask or not, I'm gonna tell you where my music really came from, bro. Look at right here. You know what that is?
What was that?
Look at it.
Oh, Metallica, dude.
There you go. I got that before they dropped the new album with just the M. It's crazy, but James Hetfield has that tattooed on his hand, and it's my ode to James because I wouldn't play music if it wasn't for James Hetfield.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's the reason I play music, but also there's so many other things in music that I love. But like the reason that I used to be this kid like because I was raised on butt rock, dude, like Cinderella,
New
Guns N'
metal, dude.
Roses. No, this is before that. I'm talking 80s shit, bro. I'm talking like
Oh,
Dawkins, Cinderella, Van Halen, all that shit. Like these are real musicians when it comes to guitar work, bro.
yeah, yeah, dude.
You can't just fuck around and play some of their shit after you can learn a Green Day song in a day, but you ain't gonna learn the solo for fucking some Van Halen shit. You know what I mean? So I grew up on
Exactly,
that,
dude.
and I had this weird like pretentious like fucking elitist attitude about music. And when I heard like screaming and shit, I was like, "Oh, that's gay, dude. They can't sing like fucking Ronnie James Dio. they can't sing like fucking, you know what I mean? Ozzy Osbourne. Like, I had this weird attitude about it. It wasn't until I seen,
speaking of,
I know I seen that and I love that. I love
fucking
that shit.
love Sabbath, dude.
I was gonna say something, but well, Ozzy in general is just the GOAT. He's the god.
Yeah, and when he dies, it's gonna be like family fucking died, dog.
I don't even want to think about that right now because my
For
girl keeps trying to
facts.
put my girl keeps trying to put death on him. The last 2 years, she's like, Ozzy's dying this year, and I'm like, bitch, shut
Bro,
up.
she gotta stop, bro.
Yeah, I'm pissed. He ain't even that old, but he's not doing good. But anyways, hey, listen. So I had this attitude. I remember when Slipknot came out. I didn't even like Slipknot. Shit's fucking poser shit. All these bands are coming out that are kind of like a little bit on the harder side, which I like now. But you know what really changed my mind about it? And I had heard Meshuggah, I heard Cannibal Corpse, I heard these bands, and they didn't really do nothing for me. But one day my dad was like, "Hey, check out this article." It was in a like Metal Meringue or some kind of magazine, and it was talking about the Philadelphia DVD with Lamb of God. And they're like, "Hey, yo, the guitar player and the vocalist get in a fight. Someone gets knocked out. All this happens." And my dad was like, "We got to get this and watch it." So I went to Borders, ordered it. A couple days go by, they get it in. I go pick it up. I don't know nothing about the music. I actually don't like that kind of metal. I'm like, this shit's fucking poser shit, bro. Whatever. I'm listening to Stained and like things that I think are like, you know, the toughest shit. Not just tough, but like the music to me meant something.
Right.
So I get this DVD and I start watching it, and it's a documentary like day of the life type shit in between the performances. So I'm watching this and I'm learning that like Randy Blythe and you got fucking Mark Morton and Willie and Chris Adler and everybody in the band is like Campbell. They're all like normal dudes and they're like funny and they're just like me and I like their personalities. I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. And then I start listening to the music and how heavy the shit is. And I start seeing like, oh, I never heard a riff like this. I never heard vocals like this. And I'm like, their personalities opened up to me being open to their style of music. And Lamb of God changed my life. And Lamb of God is my favorite heavy band, bro. When I go back and I listen to all their albums before, like, there's some of their newest shits, like they lost their way a little bit, I think, because they're just older, and that happens. But they really paved the way for metal to be where it is for heavy shit, because you got like a New American Gospel, heaviest shit I ever heard to this day. Then you got fucking what's the other one after that? With Laid to Rest and shit on there.
It's a murder. It's a murder, I think, right?
No,
No,
America's
ashes from
Ashes of the
ashes
Wake.
to wake. Yeah, ashes of the
Yeah,
wake.
Ashes of the Wake. That shit's hard. Then you got their fucking As a Palace's Burn. Then you got fucking all their albums, bro. They're fucking filthy. Like
Sacrament bangs. It's honestly my favorite
Sacrament, dude. You know,
record.
Sacrament's fucking filthy because I just got my truck. I had just got my license to drive, bro. I'm like 16. I bought that album. It came out. I remember when I think about that album, I think about snow dropping. I'm driving in the snow and I'm listening to the album in the snow. And I remember the breakdown for one of the songs. He goes, "God damn," and it hits him with the 808, boom, and like that shit. The reason I use 808s isn't because it's a fucking cliche and slam. It's because of the 808 that was on that fucking breakdown, bro.
See, what got me into like heavier shit was hearing Slayer, Pantera, and Devourment. I
And
had
to this day,
never,
though, Pantera,
I'd
though,
never really heard shit like that at the time, man. I didn't know
Pantera,
people could do that.
I could tell you where I was the first time I heard "Walk" by Pantera, bro. I was in the parking lot of Walmart with my dad, and I already liked Metallica and Anthrax and shit. And he played "Walk," and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" My dad was like, "I never showed this to you because I thought they were racist." But
Right.
that bump, banana, Dimebag today became. But look at this. Just look at my new guitar. This is an ode to Dimebag right here.
Ooh, damn, that bitch is sexy.
It's a dime slime. It's the guitar player from Anthrax, Scott Ian. It's his signature,
Yeah.
but he did the dime slime paint for Dimebag, and
I
it's
just
my
fucking got into Anthrax. They're fucking amazing, dude.
so
Holy
Scott Ian.
shit.
They have a song called Indians.
Yeah, that motherfucker bangs that little gallop. Ooh.
Yeah, but Indians is like my dad used to get drunk and be like, "Hey, this is the first song like where people like give Indians like some praise and like we're Native American." So when they say "cry for the Indians, die for the Indians," they're talking about like it all seems black and white when it comes to someone else's fight, and like all the lyrics are just like heavy, and they didn't have to do that, but they did it, and it's one of their sickest. The war dance, the breakdown, like the fucking the moshing part, heaviest riff
Facts.
ever written, bro. up there. It's up there with one of the heaviest fucking mosh rips ever written. So that's why I got that, because my dad passed away 2020. He introduced me to all the music I love, but Scotty Ian is cool as fuck, and I love Scotty Ian, and he put this Jackson out with the dime bag paint job, and I had to get it, and it's the first guitar I've ever bought, whereas like this is the guitar that I want, not the guitar that I can afford, but the guitar that I want.
All right. So here's how I feel about Dimebag and Pantera, dog. I mean, I grew up in South Baton Rouge, dude. I was raised by my
Yeah,
mom and like a black woman, dude. Like I
and that
didn't
and
know
that
about racism until I got in like middle school and shit.
your mom is your mom with a black woman or what?
No, my mom's white. That was her best friend in middle
Well,
school.
that's what I was asking. I didn't know. You said he's right with her. I didn't know
Yeah,
if your
she's
mom
my
was with her.
godmother, dude.
Well, that's dope, because you know what? The only first cousins I have are half black.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So
But
I grew up. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I grew up like a lot of people hated on them, and we had a lot of fist fights and shit over that over here, because that shit. And then he had long hair. They'd be like, "Who's this girl wearing a Batman shirt?" And he's black, and you know what I mean. That shit caused a lot of stuff in the
yeah,
'90s.
like we fight people behind that shit, bro. Like I don't play
Oh
that
no,
shit
yeah,
at
I still
all.
fight. And you know what? And a lot of people, I won't bust it out on here, but where we're from, bro, and my cousins and where I'm from, bro, we just talk the way we talk, and there's a lot of times I got friend, like I told you, my albums I make, the rap albums, my homie from New Orleans, I be dropping the N word sometimes. It's just because of the way I was raised. I try to stop so much because it's an ignorant word, but it's really not, because I've been called a sand nigger because people call me Osama bin Laden when I was a
Jesus.
kid, bro. I've been called a prairie nigger, bro, like the hard R. Like
Holy shit.
I've been hit with racism because of the way I look, and I'm like, you know what? They look at me this way because I'm not the way they look or whatever. So like it don't matter. In some type of way, I'm a nigga to some type of person. And that
Right.
shit's it's a heavy word. And I try not to like put it out in my music and stuff. But my homies that know me over here, that's how people talk in the hood, and that's how people talk. And it's an ignorant word, but it's just like, bro, they took it and re-owned it to make it their own, and I respect it. But it's a touchy subject these days. But like real recognize real. So like if you're
Yeah.
willing to fight, if you're willing to fight over it, that's what it comes down to, bro. If you ain't willing to get your ass beat over it, then you shouldn't be saying that shit.
Facts.
But I
But
was gonna
with
say that.
me, bro, like I was always a weird ass kid, you feel me, growing up. And I mean I was like the only white kid in black schools and this and that, in and out of different hoods and shit. And it's like I experienced fuck shit, but at the same time, I didn't know what the fuck racism was until middle school. And
You see, but you know
like,
what? That's a lot of people's experience, bro. A lot of people don't even know what racism. You know, when I was a kid, kids thought Native Americans didn't exist. They thought we were like just in books and shit, bro. They didn't know that
that's fucking
our
no, that's just dumb.
no, but that's how it is though, because we ain't wearing fucking, we're not wearing the clothes that they see on TV, and we don't have our hair braided, and they have short hair, and like my mom's white, I'm happy, but they didn't know that we even were. Even like 4 or 5 years ago, my ex girlfriend's nephew was like, he's like, what? Oh, there's Indians over here, and she's like, Kyle's Indian. He's like, what? He's like, really? This fool didn't even know I was Native American. He's like, He's like, I never met an Indian before. I was like, bro, you've been knowing me for like since he was 2. The fuck you talking about? 10 years.
But on the low, it's kind of the same thing as seeing like a pregnant Asian. Like you don't see too many like Native Americans no more, man.
No, but you don't, because you know what the truth is. The actual we're less than 1% of the population of the whole world, and we only exist pretty much in America. So we're like we're like a dying breed, but like we're still here. We're still like here, but like there's such a genocide agenda for genocide towards us that like people don't know that we are here. But you watch,
Man,
like, you know, it's dope now. You ever seen Reservation Dogs on Hulu?
I actually did not. I watch cartoons and shit, dog.
Watch that show. It's all Native American reservation show, and it's funny as hell. You gonna love it.
Fuck yeah, I'm a peep it then. I liked
Hey,
something. Did you like what is it? Snowfall? Did you fuck with Snowfall?
which one that?
It's the one with the kid Franklin and they got the meme. I built this shit brick by brick.
Damn, I don't know if I seen that one.
Oh, you gotta watch it. It's I think it's like four,
Or
five, six
the
seasons.
last Predator movie they dropped, Prey. You watch that shit
Oh,
with
that
the woman?
motherfucker bang. Yeah, yeah.
See, I'm talking about. She's a real. They was using there's real natives in that bitch. Apocalypto
Hell yeah.
banger. Hey, you know what though? And I'm gonna say it right now because whoever watches this shit, people are gonna feel some type of way about what I said earlier. Where I'm from, what I said, like when I said when people call me wiggers, I thought that shit was funny because society wouldn't see me the way as being a white person. So I felt the need to say, like, because I see it all the time. You listen to Shoreline Mafia?
I have not. No, I listen to
Meg, well,
old. I
6ix9ine.
listen to Wu Tang
I
and
know you
shit.
know. I know you know 6ix9ine.
Unfortunately,
So he dropped the N word. I ain't dropping the N word in no disrespectful way, but my family is some of who my family is, and the gangs here, the NAs and stuff. I don't want to get too into that, but those some of my homies out here, gang members, they say all that shit. But it ain't cool to say that word. But I was just saying that I grew up saying that, and fucking it's just where we come from, bro, and it's not tight. But when you said that you was raised by a black woman, I was like telling you, hey, my cousins is like that. I just want you to know that like I say that word and it ain't a cool thing to say. But
oh, I don't give a fuck. Me personally,
well, I know most people don't. My homie from NOLA, he don't give a fuck, bro. He talks to me all the time. I
white
try to say,
boys from down here say this shit. It ain't no skin
well,
off
I
my
know you
back.
ever seen a video, you mother,
Yeah, bruh. I'm telling you, that's either South Florida or New Orleans, somewhere
yeah,
like that.
the people that talk about it and say you have the right to say it or not ain't from the places where you say it because you got the respect to say it because we all looked at the same, bro. If you ain't rich and you ain't middle class, then you're some type of nigga, bro.
I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying. No, and that sounds crazy for me to say, but I'm gonna say it right here because I want people to know that that's my opinion about it, and I'll fucking die by that. We can fight over it. I don't give a shit. But
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say like it's okay for my fans to go saying that if they ain't from whether to say it or not. If you ain't willing to get punched in the face over it, then don't be saying that
Yeah, I'm
shit.
telling you. As for the people that watch this shit too, dog, don't say that shit. You know what I'm saying? I know some of my friends. I know who's gonna watch this, bro. Don't say that shit.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, yeah, like don't think that I just go around saying it all the time. I'll say it around my homies, and I can say it in front of anybody because, like I said, I'm ready to fight for it. But it's not the cool word to use. I grew up thinking
Facts.
it was. I grew up thinking it was. I used to be in gangs when I was a little kid, thinking I was a gang member. Shit ain't tight. The death metal shit. People, my homies that are still in gangs, look at me like, man, you really like the metal shit. Like, hey, you're a rocker, huh? Full type shit. But
Yeah, I'm telling
like
you.
that, I'm saying I grew up in all that stuff. That's why like the rap influence comes into my stuff because I grew up around it and I love it. It's my shit. But
I
death
grew
metal
up
is my
with
shit.
fucking 3 6 Mafia and
And the
No
3-6,
Limit and Cash Money and all that shit.
but that's why I sampled. That's why I sampled bitches on my dick. I
I'm
know this shit
telling
is
you,
thick.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Mm.
sampled that on that because the reason I started making beats like really knowing I could do it was not from the movie Hustle and Flow, but you know DJ
Badass
Paul.
movie though.
But yeah, it's a banger movie. But DJ Paul and fucking all those motherfuckers, Juicy J, the beat that you
Yeah.
start hearing the like when they say like let me think of a song by them motherfuckers like when I say weak ass you say bitch weak
Weak
ass bitch
ass
you start
bitch.
hearing
Weak
them hooks
ass
like
bitch.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or sipping on some scissor like
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
whole what's that shit called it's not Up in Smoke, is it?
Yeah, it's the one with sipping on scissor. That's Up in Smoke, dude.
Yeah, that album changed my life too. So like that whole album is the reason why I make beats to this day because the shit on that album, bro. Uh, break down the dollar and take a bump. Like all that shit is banger, bro. I could rap that whole album to anybody. Three
See,
Six
my
Mafia is my shit.
favorite 3 6 Mafia release was Devil's Playground, Coopster.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. I feel that. There's so many bangers, but like that
Yeah.
shit for me was the first one that I had in my because we had a local record store here called Off the Record, and I
Fuck,
remember that
yeah.
album when my dad bought it. But I remember the thing that changed my mind about that, what made that my favorite album was the sipping on some scissor shit. The beat.
Yeah.
That's the hardest beat I ever heard in my
It's a
life.
good
Yeah.
fucking beat, dude.
Oh yeah, they the shit with that was fucking filthy, and I was like, this is tight. Can't hate on that. And then I listened to the whole thing, and it's just no album sounded tough like that. So when I went to do like the slam shit, I was listening to Tupac. I was listening to all these other beats. I was like, I
Excuse
got to
me.
do this. I got to do this fucking bitches on my dick sample because this is the one that fits.
Excuse me. Damn.
But yeah, he's from Memphis. You know what I mean? That song, it's from
Yeah, yeah.
Memphis. It's a Memphis. Some fucking like some, and 3-6 is on some like satanic shit. When you think about like the concept of it, even though they may or may not be, they was doing the shock value shit. So that's
Oh
why I
yeah,
rock with that
yeah. They
too.
were
And
with the
also,
Mystic Styles and all that shit, man.
I sampled it because I know that if it ever came back to me, 3-6 Mafia sampled that shit, and 3-6 Mafia will clear anybody's samples on you hit them up. So that's why I sampled that shit because I knew I'd have the clearance.
Fuck yeah. All right. Last question, bro, and then I'll let you get back to whatever you got going on this evening, dog.
All right, Blaine. My bad. I got a little bit too lit there at the end. My bad. My bad.
Oh, fuck that, dude. All good. Say what you gotta say, man. Plug
Yeah, I fuck with
anything you
you.
gotta plug too. I don't care, dude.
If people want to go listen to other shit I did, we got Course. You can look on YouTube. It ain't got a lot of views, but Course, Left with Nothing. It's KOARSE, Left with Nothing. You can listen to that little small EP. They
Did
got
you do Corpse of Norma or was that somebody else?
Corpse and Norma is my solo project. That's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
me. So you hear the vocals.
Yeah, that motherfucker was
It's
banging.
hard to do, but like I did all the vocals. I taught myself to do vocals just for the solo project, and that shit hurts my motherfucking throat. So be careful when you try that shit.
Yeah, it really does. It hurts your shit after a while. Who I learned how to do that shit from was the YouTube. If you
But
remember this shit back in the day,
Phil,
you know exactly what video I'm talking about, man.
Whitechapel,
Yes, sir,
bro. Phil Bozeman taught me how to do that shit.
bro.
The
Like
tunnel vocals.
the
I wish I could do
shit
it
that
right
he
now.
could do.
My shit's fucking dry right now.
That.
But that's where I learned to do that. But also, shout out to fucking Gorepot, uh,
Oh yeah, Larry Wayne.
Larry Wang. I listened to his shit and I realized that like it sounded like a burp. So I was like, "Where's the burp come from? My throat? It comes from this area right here." I tried to like find out where it comes from. My shit's dry as fuck, but like I found out where it comes from and I learned how to control that guttural from there. And it all is because I was listening to that motherfucker. So I was like,
Yeah,
the throat sounds like a burp and it comes from this part of your throat. And I try to isolate that area when I did vocals.
So how do you do the fucking squeals? I can't quite get that down too well.
The squeals was from Phil Bozeman taught me.
Yeah.
But when he said that, you kind of like you make your tongue a certain way and you put it on the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
Practice that shit, and then when you push it, but it's all throaty. Oh, bro, we wouldn't even talk about Nirvana yet
Yeah,
either.
the
But
like the my shit
we'll save
dry
that shit for
too,
later.
bro.
I was talking about
Yeah.
Nirvana. We didn't bring that up, but we'll save that for later, I
Oh
guess.
yeah, nah, fuck that dude, man. Fuck Kurt Cobain. I don't like I'm being extra. I don't like Kurt Cobain, bro.
You don't? Is
Like,
that what you was
okay,
gonna say?
so here's my thing. I grew up like I had to sell drugs at one point. I grew up around drugs, like all that shit. Like
Same,
you look at
same,
me, you
same,
wouldn't be
same.
able to fucking tell that shit, bro.
Same though.
Like,
I'm a good ass person, but I done sold cocaine when I was
but
younger.
seeing people like Kurt Cobain just made me fucking angry
Well,
because
why
you do
though?
all this, you have this whole front about how you don't like the
Okay,
shit
but hold
that
up
you're
though, hold up though, hold
making.
up though, hold up though, hold up though. But are you hip to him not killing himself and that it was a murder?
It was definitely Courtney. She had something to do with that shit,
So
bro. Because
then, so
they
what
even
you hating
said
on
the
Kurt for
letter
then?
wasn't even the way he wrote that shit.
So what you hating on Kurt for then? What? I don't get it.
Because it's still, I don't like that he whined all the fucking time, and he was also super like hypocritical of himself. Like he said,
He was definitely a hypocrite. That's
yeah,
facts.
if you go back and listen to Buzz Osborne, I don't mean to listen to other people. You know what I'm saying? Give an
This
opinion
next
on
time,
somebody else.
this next to my book, and also Buzz Osborne's a hater because Kurt got bigger than him, and he thought Kurt Cobain was his little bro.
I
That
fuck
is
with
what it is.
Buzzo though, but still,
Hey,
some of the
Buzzo,
shit that he
hey,
said, like.
King Buzz is what it is, but he ain't on Nirvana's level, and he never could be.
No. But for where
But you
I'm
know what
from,
though?
dude, we love Melvins. I ain't gonna let the slander continue. You heard
And
me?
I ain't gonna let the slander continue on my boy Kurt because where I come from, boy Kurt. No, but listen though, I had a band called Suicide Gene, and I did all the
Yeah,
music for it. And I have like I did a cover song of "I Hate Myself and I Want to Die," and all the comments gassed me up on how I sounded like Kurt Cobain because I could sing like Kurt Cobain. I have like I could lock into that, but I wouldn't play music. Also for James Hetfield, like guitar work comes from
right.
James Hetfield, but my songwriting and love for songwriting comes from Kurt Cobain, and my attitude which is punk rock. And punk rock ain't a sound, it's an attitude. And punk rock is doing whatever you want to do without giving a fuck what anyone else thinks. You be yourself regardless of whoever fucking cares about it, bro. That's what punk rock is, and that's what I learned from Kurt Cobain. But aside from that, Kurt to me was confused. He was young. He was also like trying to fit into a scene, you know what I mean? Like when you say like he was a hypocrite and shit, Kurt Cobain, like fucking, you ever read the story where he fucking fucked that little fucking special ed chick?
Yeah, dude, and then he goes back and said, this is another thing I want to touch on with that shit. He
Yeah, but
goes back and says he's such a feminist and he loves women and this shit,
exactly.
and
That's
then
what
he
I'm talking
goes and
about.
says that shit, bro.
That's why he's a hypocrite to me. I see that. I get that, but that's just a human being. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, I understand
Also, I
that, but
guarantee you he
still, I'm
didn't.
a
He, I
big
guarantee you,
word is bond type guy.
I guarantee you, he ain't know his shit was gonna be put on blast the way it did after he died.
Oh,
But
no, probably not.
also, at a certain point in times in all of our lives, bro, we might have stepped out on word is bond. You feel me?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I can't
But
hate on him
but
too much.
but Kurt Cobain, what I'll tell about you about Kurt Cobain is he'll take a song and cover it and make it sound like the greatest song you ever heard, and you hear the original and that shit sucks. You go back and you listen to his music, you ain't heard no one that sound as dope as he did before he came, and he birthed a whole new sound and a whole new. What he did was he made music real. He came with an energy that people could feel the authenticity, and that kind of was lacking before that. And it opened up a world for other people to be more authentic, and that's why we got like dope bands like Stained and other shit today.
But at the same time, there was
But
bands
at the
for
same
me.
time,
At
though,
the same time, there was bands for me like I Hate God and Crowbar already
but do
out
you
at the
think? But do you
time that
think?
were talking about shit like that, and it kind of,
Yeah,
I
but
guess,
to but to me,
I
they
don't
ain't as
know.
dope. They ain't as dope. They ain't as iconic as Kurt Cobain to me. Like I
Yeah,
fuck
you're
with
right.
Crowbar and I listen to that shit and it's tight, but it ain't iconic. It ain't like it doesn't have that magic in a bottle that Kurt Cobain had for some reason. But that's also because
He
I'm a
knew
North
how to
kid.
string chords together that sounded
But
really
not only
well,
that
but
though.
didn't fit.
But not only that though. I've been to Kurt Cobain's childhood home. I'm a Northwest boy. I've been over here. Like he's someone that I look up to as being like my god almost. Like he's like if I ever were to, you know what I mean, type shit. So I'm looking at a different way. But I'll send you some shit where I sing Kurt's song and you'd be like, that sounds like Kurt Cobain because
Fuck
that's my
yeah.
love for Kurt. But like this guitar, it's some Van Halen shit. But to me, and you know what? I'll say this right now. Fuck it. Fuck Kurt Cobain because Eddie Van Halen was fucked up and drunk at his show, and he told Kurt, "Let me play one of your songs with you. Let me get on stage and play with you." And Kurt was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah." And then he ghosted him and didn't let Van Halen on stage.
Yeah,
You
you
always
don't
pay respect.
fucking do that to Van Halen, bro.
Yeah, yeah. You know. I'm gonna say I would have whipped Kurt Cobain's ass. That's how I look at people. If I could whip
I'd
your
kick
ass,
him in the dick, bro. You can't do
no,
that to
listen, no,
Van
listen. No.
Halen.
I don't care if you're famous or what or you're legend. If I could beat your ass, then fuck out of here. But if you can beat me up, then all right, but.
Right. Yeah, I know when to shut my mouth and when to pop off.
Yeah, I would have whipped Kurt Cobain's ass. So you know, it is what
He
it is.
was a skinny little fucking dope fiend. You could beat his ass
Hey,
easy.
also, how tall you think I am? What size you think I am?
Shit, I don't know, cause
It's hard to
dude,
tell.
I'm
How
like
tall are you?
fucking 110, 5'8". Dude, I got muscular
Damn.
dystrophy.
You got MS or
I got
no?
muscular dystrophy, dude.
Damn. Well, I got an eye disease and the shit sucks, but uh, I feel bad for anyone that has any kind of disease or anything that holds them back from being their full physical. You know, I'm
Shit, yeah.
6'2", like 240. I'm a big
Oh
boy,
yeah, dude. Big
and
husky boy, know what I'm saying?
yeah, we big out here. But I always look at people when I met Macklemore. I met a bunch of famous people. I'm like, man, these are just little ass dudes, bro. I don't look at people the same when I see how small they are. It's a weird fucking
Bitch, yeah,
machismo.
like I'm a real skinny ass motherfucker, bro. Like
But you
I'm
know what? But
real skinny.
and that don't matter though. As long as you're a
And
real one, that's cool.
I still, when I go to concerts and shit, I'm the first one in that motherfucker popping off, windmilling, crowd killing and
I'll
shit.
tell you
Like
right now
I'm the
though.
first.
I'll tell you right now, you ain't gonna see me crowd killing. I'm just gonna be in the front, headbanging and fucking beating myself up. But I don't like to hit other people, and I don't like that kind of shit.
If
Like,
all right, so if
but
I
you know,
see,
if I play the show though, if I play the show and everyone's crowd killing, I'm gonna let y'all do it. But like, just be respectful of others.
you can't target people. You gotta target people that's in the pit, bro. You can't just be like hitting people outside that motherfucker. It's okay to push somebody outside the pit. You feel me?
I like
But if
push.
you
I
just
like put.
walk up and sock somebody like that, that shit ain't
Yeah,
fucking
that's some
cool.
pussy ass shit. If I see that happen, I'm gonna drop you. I'm gonna drop you
There's
off top.
certain levels to the hardcore dancing and shit.
That's the shit I don't like though. That's shit too. Like, but for me, it's all about going and having a good time, bro. If that's your good time and it's someone else's good time, let that happen. But if you fucking go out of your way to do that to someone because you think it's cool, then you're a poser.
Fuck yeah, that shit ain't like. There's certain levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go to your show and I see somebody not moving, I'm going, like, fuck, back up to them a little bit, or just be like, hey, like, get your motherfucker, come on, try to bring them over
Yeah,
there. Or if
yeah.
not, I'll just be in the pit fucking windmilling and shit, all that, bro.
Hey,
Like,
Blaine. I'm gonna tell you right now. I love this interview because it's just me. Even though I'm a little bit tipsy and I had a couple drinks, it's just me being myself, unapologetically, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says or thinks. And I won't go back and read comments or none of that shit. Whatever you put this out on, I ain't watching this shit ever. So I just want everyone to know, if you watch this, I love that you watch it. And if you can relate to me, then you're cool. If you think that I'm stupid, retarded, whatever, that's cool too. I love everybody. And thank you for showing me a little bit of fucking, love by giving me your time to watch some of this interview. And fuck with my boy Blaine. Whatever page you got coming out that this is on, I hope the shit goes off. I hope you get interviews with fucking whoever you fucking want to. Let the shit go up, bro. You don't be
fuck
no
yeah,
Finn
dude.
McKinney ass motherfucker.
But nah, fuck Finn McKenty, because I've been saying this shit since even before they said some shit. I was like, oh, this dude's a faggot. Oh, this dude
He,
sucks.
he's a hater. He's a negative ass pussy. But you know what? I will shout out his why Slam Death died or whatever that episode. You could tell he really had love for the scene, and he's lying about saying that he doesn't care
Yeah,
about
he's
music.
fucking lying. He
He
wears
lying.
cerebral incubation tees.
And you know what? You got to
Them
go out of
shits
your
are
way to
like
buy that.
60,
No, look,
$70.
and you got to go out of your way to find that, and you got to go out of your way to know why that shirt's cool and why that's the sickest slam shit to buy. But also, what I will say is, it's all of us hating and being haters and gatekeepers that made him hate music and say that he never heard System of a Down. He's lying. But also, he is a he's a marketing fucking major.
Yeah.
So you know what's the most thing of marketing is saying, oh yeah, I never listened to that, and everyone's talking about it. We're all going back and rewatching episodes and putting money in his pocket. He's genius, bro. It's a marketing tactic, and
That's
shout
what
out
I
to
was just
Finn
about to
McKinney.
say. But
I shout out to him because he's fucking playing all of us like a fucking fiddle.
but shit, Chad, before I end this bitch, any updates on the record, my brother?
The record, I have songs done. I didn't give him to Zach yet because I don't want him to fucking think that these songs are ready to go. I have a bunch of riffs and shit recorded that aren't up to par to me, because if it sounds like my old shit, I don't quite necessarily want to keep that. I want to do something that's a little bit different. But at the same time, I just realized that, like, I am who I am and my sound's going to be my sound. So, but to be honest, I'm babying this album because it might be the last VC album for all I know. I don't know how much
Okay.
I have in me to keep putting out VC slam shit because I have other loves. I want to do thrash and other shit. So
Fuck
I'm
yeah,
trying to
dude.
put my all into this to make sure that I'm happy when this shit's out. I don't want to be like, man, I rushed it, or I didn't like that riff, or I didn't like this, or I didn't like. I wanted to make sure that this is my baby, and that this is an album that when people go back and listen to, and I know it's gonna be Wigonometry, is my real baby, but this new one, I want to be my baby, and I want it to be something that, like, not that I took my time on, but something that I'm proud of when the songs are done. That's all I'm doing. So I can't put a date on it. I tried to put a date on it, and I had like 7, 8, 9 songs, and they just don't. They don't sound tight to me, bro. They sound like regular. I bet you if I put it out, people would love it, but no, I want some shit that's like, I never heard this in slam yet. No
Fuck
one's done
yeah,
that on
that's
Guitar
what
with
I like
Slam.
to
So
see, man.
I want to push myself to do something that I don't think no one else has done yet. And shout out to everyone that ran with the style from Bitches on My Dick, because the shit goes hard and I fuck with it. But I want to start the next one now. Watch someone else start a whole new shit off my new one. That's what I'm trying to do.
Hell yeah, dude. Well,
And also,
brother.
I want to do solos on this shit that are like that represent me. I want to do guitar solos on Slam that represent me that you don't hear.
Fuck yeah,
Because Slam
dude.
don't really have solos. I want a lot of lead guitars on this shit that are in weird places that still keep it Slam, that don't make it step outside of the boundaries of Slam. And y'all, it sounds weird, but watch, y'all see.
Bet. Alrighty. Hell yeah. Well, alright, my brother. Been good
All right,
talking
Blaine.
to you.
Yeah. Hey, hit me
Uh
up on. I got your shirt coming too. I haven't had no days off yet. Monday, Tuesday. I could go to the USPS and ship you that shit. I got you a CD coming on the way too.
Fuck yeah, I got it shipping to my boyfriend's house, so. Cause if
Oh
I
yeah,
ship
yeah.
it to my apartment, I don't know if that motherfucker even gonna get up to my shit. So
You said your boyfriend's house.
yeah, so that's the address I gave
All
you.
right, G. I got
All
you, my
right, you
G.
be safe, brother.
All right, brother. Love you. Take care.
Oh
Thanks
yeah,
for putting
man.
me
You
on.
be safe. Of course.
Later, bro.
Later.